Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to our Drainage District Board of Directors meeting, posted for today, December the 19th, 2017. Present are Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 1, Cantu, Precinct 2, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, we come to you again just to give you thanks, Lord, for a beautiful day that you've given us, Lord. Just thank you for the opportunity, Lord, to come serve you, Lord, today. We continue to thank you and lift up these elected officials that you've appointed, Lord. Continue to bless them. Continue to provide them your wisdom, Lord, your understanding, Lord. We just continue to celebrate the holidays, Lord, and the celebration for the birth of your Son, Jesus, Lord. We just continue to pray for those that are battling illnesses right now, Lord. We continue to lift them up to you. We continue to pray for them, pray for their families, Lord. Give them the peace that comes from your Son, Lord, as they battle through all this, through the illnesses and everything that they're dealing with, Lord. We continue to ask for your guidance for myself, Lord, for my staff, and for all the leaders of this great county that we serve, Lord. I ask all this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Did anyone sign up?
Yes, sir, we do have one participant, Ms. Marta Sanchez. I will remind the audience, please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There's a 3-minute time limit. I would advise when there's 1 minute. Ms. Sanchez?
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. My name is Marta Sanchez. I'm representing La Unión del Pueblo Entero. And I'm here for an issue that has been lingering for a while, and that's the translation that we're asking for the members for this meeting. We talked to the DA's office. I think we talked to Mr. Balde. We talked to the Drainage District, and it's been holding on. We actually find out under the law that the people deserve to get translation. And so we really are willing to negotiate that we only can have translation for the Drainage District because we know that it's very long, this meeting. So we really would like to see this translation begin in the beginning of the year because I think we've been super patient with that. I think the information that Mr. Cecilio gives is super important for the community that we serve and the ones that needs translation. So please consider that. Make this a priority for your department because Mr. Cecilio said he's willing to work with this. So please take in consideration that as a part of being transparent and accountable to your constituents by providing translation and the people can understand what's saying, especially when we try to translate. The gentleman here to my left is hashes down, so especially it's important that you all provide the translation for them. Thank you so much. Another point is just that you might consider as the start your meetings at 9:30, since we never start at 9 o'clock. The only people that were here is just the owls and us, and so at 9 o'clock. So it's a good thing if you wanted to start at 9:30 instead of 9 o'clock, because that's what your website said. So anyway, just one thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any concerns with the consent agenda?
Judge, there is one item that we would like to remove, item 7A, and we'll bring it back. So we'd like for you to remove that and then consider the rest.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
And item 7A, we'll bring it back at the next meeting, Judge. There'll be no action on 7A in the consent. Okay.
Item 5.
Thank you, sir. Discussion of Dow County Drainage Unit 1 projects, maintenance, and operations. Item 5A is Precinct 1 Adams and Black subdivision. This is a development located in Precinct 1, and the area there has been improved. The street itself inside the what is considered the Adams and Black subdivision has been improved, and we've been working with a consultant we have on board to get an off-site easement to extend drainage to it. So far, we've got one easement already acquired, and we're working with an additional landowner to negotiate an easement. The route is being reconsidered based on the last discussion we had with the landowner, but they're progressing the talks, and we're hoping that once we get that parcel in place, we'll move forward with the extension of a storm sewer system to this community here, this residential development, which in the past has experienced some issues during heavy rain events. So that's one of the projects that we have identified under our bond issuance, rural drainage development, and we're extending drainage to it. Once we secure the easement, we'll move to get the project under construction, and we're hopeful that that'll happen the first part of this year. The next project that we have is Lucero del Norte. This is another Precinct 1 development. It's another identified project in our rural drainage bond issuance as well. And the district is partnering with the precinct. We're doing some of the off-site drainage connection, and we have a contractor on board conducting internal work. It's a $195,000 contract with the contractor, and we're doing that's some of the internal work shown there. That's being done by the contractor. They're about 95% complete with the project, and the district we're complete with our box structure project that we've done there, and we're just going to do some widening of the ditch itself through our in-house forces, and then do some riprap work to finish up the project, and then put that complete that project. That will be one of the projects, as I mentioned, that is identified in our rural drainage bond issuance. And then the last project that we have today is the Minnesota and Cesar Chavez Area Drainage Improvement Project, and this is a project in Precinct 2. And this project is going to serve several rural developments in that area. We have Brenda Estates, Minnesota Meadows 2, Minnesota Air Acres, Rincon del Valle number 5, and the surrounding area that's being impacted by this project. We're basically taking drainage from those aforementioned developments and taking them into our LJ drain that's just north of Minnesota Road. We've been working with the irrigation district, and you can see there on the picture right there where they're already working with the pipe there on Cesar Chavez Road. So they anticipate finishing sometime by mid or late January. So we're hoping by late January, early February, we'll start our portion of drainage project improvement, and we'll improve, as I mentioned, those rural developments, get drainage to them, and at the same time address the intersection of Cesar Chavez and Minnesota Road that also has an elevated canal, but with these improvements will no longer be there. So, and that project, as I mentioned, should start latter part of January, first part of February, and we should finish within 90 or 120 days. So, and that's one of the areas also that's identified in our rural drainage development program that we have for the county for Precinct 2. So, that's all I have just for the board today. Thank you.
And moving on to 6.
Item 6, request authority to advertise and approval of plan specifications as attached here too for Dow County Drainage District Number 1, Alamo Lateral and Cesar Chavez Drain Phase 2 improvements, north of Canton Crossing, Canton Crossing, Alberta Crossing, and Tower Crossing. RFP number ACDD 1-18-0030-124, including the re-advertising of the requested bids, and the event bids are rejected or no bids are received and project still needed.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Good, thank you. That project is part of our Alamo Lateral, which is one of our main connectors in that area that we've heavily have improved. We've doubled capacity in that area with the work that we've done through the drainage district.
Yes.
And with these connections, will allow water to move more efficiently out of our system. So we do have some closed session items, sir.
Pursuant to 551-071 and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. We're going to be in executive session for a short while. All right, we are back in open session.
Thank you, Judge. 8A, real estate acquisition will proceed as directed. 8B, pending potential litigation. Nothing to discuss. I guess before we close the meeting, just want to wish the board individually and collectively a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Have a good time and restful time with your family. So,
Thank you.
Thank you,
all right.
sir.
Thank you.
Need a motion
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. this time, we're going to be convening our regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court, posted for today, December the 19th, 2017. Present are Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 1, Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 2, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and in the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us are here because we want what is best for Hidalgo County. We ask for your blessing and your guidance, and in your name we pray. Amen. Amen.
On our consent agenda, are there any concerns?
Judge, Commissioners, yes, I'd like for 11A to be taken out of consent for a separate discussion and action.
Move for approval of consent agenda excluding 11A.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, for item 11A, for the record, Commissioner Fuentes will be abstaining from 11A consent agenda item. If I could have a motion and a second.
Motion to approve. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, under item 5A, we have the appointment of Precinct 5 interim Justice of the Peace and interim constable. We'll begin with our Justice of the Peace.
Hello, sir. Jonathan Amatza of the County Judge's Office regarding item AI 62944, appointment of Precinct 5 Interim Justice of the Peace, Place 1. The court may now make its recommendation and vote on any appointment.
I'd like to make a recommendation to appoint Jason Pena as Justice of the Peace, Place 1. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Regarding agenda item AI 62944, number 2, appointment of Precinct 5 Interim Constable, the court may now make its recommendation and vote on the appointment.
I'd like to make a recommendation to appoint as interim constable Danny Maichilak. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. Judge.
Now, there's a requirement that they do what now? Post a bond and get sworn in? And
Yes, they must get their requisite statutory bonds, and then at that point they may be sworn in by the court.
have arrangements been made for the bond?
No, this is the first time that the appointees have heard that they will be appointed, so I will discuss it with them, and they will go with their requisite bonds, and they can come back to court after they get them.
So you say come back to court. It's not going to happen today?
It will happen today. It could happen at the end of court. It depends how quickly they can go and get their bonds and come back. So I will discuss it with them right now, and we'll see what the timeline is.
Judge, Commissioners, Mr. Almanza, with respect to the bonds, a couple things. One, the bonds, there are statutory requirements with respect to the amount of the bond and made payable to. Depending on the official, one would be made to the governor's office or one would be made to the county judge. Number two, the bond, once attained, would have to be taken over to the county clerk's office, and the county clerk then presents to Commissioners Court the approval of that bond. And so, again, Mr. Crane, I would have to defer to you with respect to once they secure their bond and they've taken their office. Obviously, there's a couple of things that need to happen. They have to be duly qualified and sworn in and have all the proper paperwork in place. With that being said, does court action need to occur with respect to the approval of the bond prior to taking office?
The court has, the county clerk would then have to come to the court after the bond has been filed with the county clerk for the Commissioner's Court to approve the bond.
But does that preclude the individual from carrying out the responsibilities of the office prior to the approval of the bond?
I would need to check on that.
Okay. again, just a couple of things procedurally that need to occur.
Yes, sir.
Jonathan, thank you for your help and your guidance in all of this, and for the extensive work that you put into not just today, but also the establishment of Precinct 5 and all the historical and legal background checking that you did with respect to this. So I appreciate all your hard work, and thank you for guiding us through this process.
Thank you, Commissioner. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Judge. If there's anything else?
Not on this issue.
Thank you, sir.
Now, just to clarify, there will be an election on both of these positions come March, right?
Yes, so there will be the primary elections in March, and then the candidates will have to go to the general election, and then we'll take office immediately after the certificate of elections.
So it's important that the communities go out and participate in the election so that they can have a voice in who they want representing their area.
Yes, sir. This will be a temporary interim appointment until the November general. So the Precinct 5 residents will have the ability to choose their next constable and justice of the peace.
And that's the next election, right? So there's not a lapse or a long delay in any of that.
No, sir. It would be November, so it would be approximately 11 months.
But the election for the primary is in March.
In March, yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's only a 2 or 3 month window that these people will serve until the public has their election and their voice be heard.
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
That's what I wanted to make sure it was out there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Guajardo, did you want to say something?
We'll do our part whenever your next meeting is held, Judge, Commissioners. I don't think you guys are having a meeting next week. Or are you?
Well, we may have to for this item.
We have a Thursday meeting.
Okay, I just wanted to say that whenever your next meeting is, we can be here to present the bond. Okay, so whenever that is, you can count on us being here on that day.
All right.
Just let us know whenever you're planning on meeting, okay?
Thank you, sir. And item number 5B.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Michael Leo, Economic Development County Judge's Office. 5B is discussion and approval of the 2018 service agreement between Hidalgo County and VIDA. As we do this annually, one of the stipulations in our agreement is we ask VIDA just to give us a short presentation, a short update on their activities for this year. So with the court's permission, we're going to turn it over to Priscilla Alvarez, who is the Executive Director of VIDA.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Thank you for having me here today. As Michael mentioned, my name is Priscilla Alvarez. I'm the Executive Director at VIDA, the Valley Initiative.
Just give them a chance to clear.
Listo?
Yes, thanks.
My name is Priscilla Alvarez, the Executive Director at VIDA, the Valley Initiative for Development and Advancement. I'd like to start today with some results that we've just received and have just been published by the Administration for Children and Families in the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. A little over 10 years ago, VIDA made the decision to participate in a random assignment study. It was a national study. There were only 9 organizations throughout the nation that were selected, and VIDA was the only one from the state of Texas, so we were really proud of that. The point of the study was to find out which organizations work. You know, when we're submitting grants, especially on the federal level, we all talk about how great our programs are and how much they work. We made the decision to do it because we wanted to have some scientific evidence that really demonstrated that the commitment to the work that we do and the results that we produce, that our graduates produce, actually. ACF just published the report last week, and we're really, really proud of the findings. It's quite a thick report, so what I did is just put some highlights together in your packets, a little short one-pager. But we also provided the link to the actual study that will give you in great detail some of those findings. The biggest findings for us that we're proud of was that of all of the students that participated, 55% of them obtained a credential or a degree, and 42 continued on to obtain additional training, which would have been a bachelor's degree. Key highlights that ACF was really excited about were that over the 24-month follow-up period, what they found was that our students who were helped by VITA, because since it was a random assignment study, half of the students received our services and half did not. We had 498 in each group, the treatment and the control group. What they found was that the treatment group members enrolled in college full-time at a greater rate and for a longer period of time. They also earned more college credits, and they earned more college degrees and or certifications. As I mentioned, that is in your packets along with the link, but I just wanted to cite what ACF put in their conclusion in that study. That the question was, how large are VITA's actual effects? And they stated, VITA's educational effects are among the largest identified by random assignment studies of programs to promote successful completion of post-secondary education and training. A helpful way to gain perspective is by comparing VITA's findings with results from a recent experimental evaluation of ASAP. ASAP is in the City University of New York. ASAP provides a good comparison because its effects have been widely hailed as some of the most promising to date, and because the two interventions, VITA and ASAP, have generally similar components, such as the requirement to enroll in college full-time, intensive case management and counseling that are provided by our organization, and funds provided for tuition, course materials, and transportation. That was pretty exciting for VITA because we're being compared to this really large nonprofit organization out of New York that is hailed as a really successful organization. They have a lot more money than we do. So we were really proud that they are telling us that our organization has just as good results as they do. So we wanted to share that with you. ACF will be coming down probably in February or early March to provide the results to constituents and VITA graduates and to our partners, organizations like the County of Hidalgo and some of our city funders from across the valley. It's important for us that they share those findings with you so that you can see where your dollars go and the results that come from helping invest in human capital. Moving on to the rest of your packet, I provided also a one-sheet Hidalgo County summary. The contract ends at the end of this month. The report that I have for you is as of November the 30th. Thus far, the majority of the students enrolled in college have been in allied health, 67%. 58% of them are between the ages of 25 and 50, and studies have shown that this is the hardest to serve population. 74% of the students were female, with 94% living below poverty levels, are unemployed, or are on public assistance. 34% of them are single parents, and 47% of them have two dependents or more. The benchmark for the amount of money that the county invested was to serve 34 students. We served 125. We were able to do that by leveraging and braiding our dollars and the investment that you've made in our program. We had a veterans grant as well as the Texas ACE grant that we were able to leverage with your dollars to achieve that benchmark. The average wage thus far of the graduates reported is $53,622.40. I'm here today to respectfully ask that you would consider renewing the contract again for the next fiscal year, or for the next calendar year. Any questions?
What is the amount of the money that we would be committing to if we adopt this agreement?
$187,000. And we would keep the same benchmark to serve the same number of students as last year with the same amount of money.
How many other government agencies are providing funds for VITA?
Locally?
Local.
Probably about 10, perhaps, maybe 9 or 10. I don't have the exact figure. I can list them off. But.
Okay.
I know we had Ms. McClarity sign up under public participation.
Yes, I do know that Edinburgh, the city of Edinburgh, has not re-upped whatever. $187,000. If you look at your backup on your deal there, it talks about direct training. It talks about the tuition fees and things, support services, tools, uniforms, emergency living expenses, transportation assistant, child care assistant. That is out of the $112,200. And then you have the $46,750, which is for the community outreach, peer learning skill, study skills, life skills, legal aid, employment skills, building accountability, labs and stuff, and that totals $187,000. I know that there's a lot of people out there. What do the taxpayers get out of this? From the cities and the county that pays this group, I don't think we get our dollar's worth. I asked her to give us a study on a long period of time of how many of these people that make $55,000 or whatever actually stay in the valley. Once they get something, are they here to pay taxes? Are they here? How many and whatnot? So once again, you and the cities that vote on this, it's easy money for y'all. It's right there. But the people that are paying for this right now over at the Kmart building, it's not coming easy. $187,000. Unbelievable.
Thank you, Fern. By the way, I've asked Ms. McClarity if I can do a presentation of the workshop because I would love to share our process and how it is economic development. So we've agreed to do that after the first of the year. I think it would be helpful. She may not still agree with it, but I think it's important that she understands, and I've offered to do that for her. The proof is in the pudding. We have an economic impact study that has been done by UTPA, and it shows that for every dollar invested in our program, the community gets back $12.12. I believe that study is in your packets also. I've also included in your packet a one-pager that addresses a report that we were a part of. This report was funded by Walmart, the Walmart Foundation, and it was conducted by the Institute for Women's Policy Research, because that question gets asked, do people really need the help? Well, the people who are working at Walmart who are trying to pay taxes, that's our population. That's the population that we serve. The idea is to help them into a job, a career that will pay them a family-sustaining wage so that they can buy a home, so that they can pay their taxes. That's the intent of our program. The study that we participated in with the Institute for Women's Policy Research was to look at support services, the books that you talked about, the transportation assistance, the child care. And it highlighted, and that one page has the link to the actual study that I'll be providing for you also, that demonstrates the need and how our policymakers are recognizing that it does take helping these students. If we want them to go to school full-time, you can't move out of the middle class in 6 weeks. Ours is not a quick fix. It's a 1 or 2 year, sometimes 3-year commitment. Our intent is to help that population get into those careers that will help them sustain their families. We do follow up. Our commitment to all of our communities is to follow up for 2 years after they graduate. And historically, we find that Valley people tend to stay in the Valley. We had one of our residents from Edinburgh talk about how she just graduated and is making $76,000 a year and just finished building her home in February. Does that happen to every single one? No, but it happens to the majority of them. We don't track them for 10 years. We track them for 2. But what we do find is when we hear they're building a home or when we hear they moved on to UTRGV to continue their bachelor's, we tend to continue to follow up with them just to hear the outcome of their story so that we can share those stories with the community. So
I believe in support this, and I'll make a motion to approve.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
If I can just close, I think these stats are profoundly respectable that you're hitting 94% of below the poverty level on this glance here. I could respect the every taxpayer is concerned to ensure that we get a return on every investment dollar.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I saw here was the fact that you continue to secure more outside funding, such as grants on the state and federal side. Obviously, I'd highly encourage you to continue to be successful at that so that we can try to reach as many as we possibly can, where we're not just so dependent on government ad valorem tax. But I'm in support.
I appreciate that. And I would just add very quickly that foundations, state and federal organizations, they want to see commitment from the communities. They want to see that the community is investing in human capital as well. So that's important to them. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
One thing I just want to note real quick, we've been fortunate enough that we've been able to fund VIDA through comptroller capital credits, the unclaimed credits, the 381 monies. So they're not necessarily ad valorem tax dollars, but the unclaimed capital credits that we're restricted to use in conjunction with 381.
Oh, okay.
And in this case, we have a county program that we initiated, the literacy program, and we contract VIDA to administer that program for
So
us.
100% of the funds are
So
coming
far,
from that.
so far up until now, yeah. So we're gonna,
Okay.
as long as those monies keep coming in, then we can keep evaluating that. It's just not a steady source of revenue, a steady source of income. But we've been fortunate where they've been pretty decent amounts for the last couple of years.
All right, thank you, sir. Item 6, our DA's office.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Judge Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. Item 6A, Hidalgo County DA's Office Victim Assistance Program Fund 1281, fiscal year 2017. Approval to submit a VAP grant number 2924302, budget adjustment to the Office of the Governor.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
6B, Hidalgo County DA's Office Victim Assistance VAP Grant Fund 1281, fiscal year 2015. We're asking for approval to submit a VAP grant number 2924301, budget adjustment to the Office of the Governor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter C, we're asking to appropriate the DA's Office discretionary funds. Number 1, DA Check Fraud Fund 1222, approval of 2018 appropriation of funds for the DA Check Fraud Fund 1222 budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, the DA's investigation HB 65, Chapter 59, Fund 1223, approval of the 2018 appropriation of funds for the DA Chapter 59, 1223 fund budget.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 3, DA's pretrial Fund 1225, approval of the 2018 appropriation of funds for the DA pretrial Fund 1225 budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 4, DA's U.S. Justice Fund 1256, approval of the 2018 appropriation of funds for the DA U.S. Justice Fund 1256 budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our Constable, Precinct 1.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge, Sergeant J.P. Salceda. 7A, Agenda Item 62959, Constable Precinct 1 TTBH, requesting approval of amendment to the interlocal agreement between Tropical Texas Behavioral Health and County of Hidalgo by and through the Office of Constable Precinct 1.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
2, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the interlocal agreement terms and conditions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
3, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign amendment to the interlocal agreement award and related documents.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
4, approval of certification and revenues by the county auditor.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
5, approval of appropriation of funds.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
7B, agenda item 62978, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint reserve deputy constable by Constable Celestino Avila, Constable Precinct 1, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code, Section 86.012, Ricardo Perez II.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 8, Constable Precinct 2.
Judge, Commissioners, good morning. Armando Campos for Constable Martin Cantu, Precinct 2.
Morning, sir.
On item 8A, 62960, number 1, requesting approval of amendment of the interlocal agreement between Tropical Texas Behavioral Health, County of Hidalgo, by and through the Office of Constable Precinct 2.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the interlocal agreement terms and conditions.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 3, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign amendment to the interlocal agreement award and related documents.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 4, approval of certification of revenues by the county auditor.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And number 5, approval appropriation of funds.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir. Item 9, our Sheriff's Office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Captain Herrera with the Sheriff's Office. A 162928, number 1, approval. Sheriff's Department ICE overtime, 1284. Number 1, approval to accept overtime funding from U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Immigration, and Customs Enforcement, fiscal year 2018, in the amount of $15,000.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, authorization to pay the overtime reimbursement under the grant terms and conditions.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 3, approval and certification of revenues as certified by county auditors for the ICE overtime funding.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 4, approval and appropriation of the funds in the amount of $15,000.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, number 1, approval to accept a donation of 1 complete iris biometric system from B12 Technologies, LLC, as part of the agreement between the Southwestern Border Sheriff's Coalition, the Honorable Sheriff Eddie Guerra, participating member, and B12 Technologies, LLC, inclusive of hardware, software, license fees, and support with license fees, maintenance, and support of expenses applicable commencing in the 4th year.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, pursuant to the same agreement, approval to purchase through commissary funds from B12 Technologies, LLC, 1 additional iris camera and mount in the amount of $5,520 with appropriable recurring fees commencing in the 2nd year as permitted under the provisions outlined in Texas Governmental Code Chapter 351, Section .0415, and further said funding sources is not subject to proclamation statutes and or HCPP and P.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And C, approval to appropriate 2018 budget for the jail commissary amount in the amount of $424,878.13.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you,
Have a
sir.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Item 10, our Executive Office.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item 10A, 1, update on ongoing county-owned building construction, relocation, and renovation repair projects. Judge, Commissioners, status quo with respect to the last report I gave and the issue with the water intrusion at the courthouse. as well as the water that we found by the law library. Everything seems to be back, or everything seems to have taken with respect to the repairs. And Thursday, today is Tuesday, but Thursday we will be shutting down the law library so that we can replace the carpeted area as it's saturated to the point that our concern is going to be that that it'll create mildew with respect to its drying. It is still humid at this point. They're still vacuuming every day. They did use dehumidifiers. So out of abundance of caution, we will be repairing and replacing that area that was affected. Item 2, emergency situations occurring since last agenda meeting, Judge Commissioners. It's unfortunate, but we did have a major incident at our main facility at Head Start early this morning. As the crew goes in to prepare for the workday, we discovered that the Head Start facility, the back area where we have our vehicles and our sheds for equipment, was broken into. And so McAllen PD was dispatched, Safety Department was dispatched. So there is an ongoing, they have been talking to the McAllen PD, and so there will be an investigation as to the break-in. Unfortunately, there were several vehicles that were damaged, and there was equipment and tools that were taken. Item B, pursuant to Article 81.005A, term of court meeting, Texas Local Government Code, consideration and entry of an order into the minutes designating the day of the week of the month of Hidalgo County Commissioners Court regular term meeting. This is under Texas Local Government Code, and so the order of the court would be as follows. For the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court, the week of the month designated would be the 4th week of the month. The day of the week would be Tuesday, and the time of the day would be 9:30 a.m. for calendar year 2018.
Need action?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item C, in keeping with what we've done in the past, under Human Resources, discussion, consideration, and all appropriate action to appoint and fill the position of Director, Department of Human Resources, effective 1/1/18. With respect to the filling of the position for Director, would be Mr. Raul Silguero, who has been the acting Director for HR.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Approval. Item 2 is approval to set salary under our step and grade, and keeping in line with step and grade. Step 1, the setting of the salary is $97,802, which is actually less than the budgeted salary for that position. Again, in keeping in line with the step and grade. So that is step 1. So if you could have a motion, a second to that. Right.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 10D is acceptance of deed conveying reverter of the courthouse square to Hidalgo County and approval of closing documents for same and authority for county judge to execute any and all closing documents with authority for county treasurer to issue check after review and audit procedures are completed by the county auditor. Judge, Commissioners, for the record, the auditor's office has indicated that prior to any disbursement of funds, they would need the final documentation with respect to the deed. We agree, and so that we've discussed that with legal counsel. That will be forthcoming to the auditor's office prior to disbursement.
Second.
Steve, do you want to explain what we're doing here?
How much time do I have, Judge?
I know the story began in 1908, I think.
Actually, 1909, but you're close. This is somewhat of an historic occasion for Hidalgo County. The courthouse square, when it was originally deeded to the county, contained what is known as a reverter clause. What that means is if the courthouse was never utilized as a courthouse, Hidalgo County would no longer own it. It would revert back to the original grantors. And this has been somewhat of an issue with Hidalgo County since 1909. We really don't own it in fee simple, if you understand the words fee simple. So at this point, like I said, it's historic. We have reached an agreement to acquire the reverter clause so that when we acquire this, Hidalgo County will own this property in fee simple. And closing, I checked with the title company this morning. Closing is set for Thursday. Everyone has signed except for one of the grantor's descendants who will be in town at closing on Thursday to sign the documents of Edwards Abstract. What I'll be providing is a copy of all the closing documents to Mr. Guerra, and the judge, I hope, will be available on Thursday at some time to sign the closing documents.
What time of the day?
I can arrange that with Edwards, whether you want morning or afternoon.
Morning would be better.
Okay. So I will get the closing documents on Thursday morning, have the judge sign those documents. Then with the check and the signed documents, those documents will be taken to Edwards Abstract and put in escrow for closing. As soon as the grantor's descendant comes in Thursday to sign the remaining signature on the deed, then Edwards will actually close the transaction.
And the amount of money that we're paying for this reverter clause to be conveyed to the county is how much?
It's $1 million for the reverter clause, and it's closing expenses of roughly $14,000.
And if we don't do this, whether or not we build a courthouse, that will, if the courthouse is ever moved to another location, then at that point, all the property that's on the courthouse square
is no longer the county's. It goes back to the original grantors, or the descendants of the original grantors.
All right.
We already took action, correct?
You have a motion and a second.
Motion and second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion. Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Judge, Commissioners, I apologize. I want to make a correction with respect to what I've stated, that we were going to close the law library on Thursday. My apologies. Friday, not Thursday. Friday, and it's again for the cleaning and maintenance of the area with respect to the what occurred, and just a general cleaning for that area. So that would be Friday.
Judge, if I may add one more matter about the courthouse. I think the other thing that the public should be aware that there is a possibility that any lender of funds to the county for construction of the new courthouse might consider whether or not there could be an interest issue because of if the reverter clause was still in existence, it might affect the amount of interest or risk expense to the lender on that property.
Well, it would be a cloud on title.
And it is a cloud on title.
All right.
Item E, Judge Commissioners, is our Title VI non-discrimination report. It's discussion, consideration, approval of the Hidalgo County Title VI Annual Work Plan and Accomplishment Report for fiscal year 2017. This includes the update to the Title VI plan, Attachment 4, the Employee Acknowledgement Form.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item F is under Colonial Access Program. John Paul, I don't know if is John Paul in the audience? I don't know if there's anything that you need to discuss with the court. It's discussion and possible action for approval to extend funding agreement for Border Colonial Access Program Amendment Number 12, third call. The amendment extends the contract period and completion of construction projects to December 31st, 2018.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
The subsequent action item for the Colonial Access Program would be the approval for county judge to sign funding agreement for Border Colonial Access Program Amendment Number 12.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item G is requesting approval of reimbursement for Daniel Flores, Building Maintenance Manager, $19.46. This was for the purchase of tools needed to repair the water leak at the courthouse with authority for county treasurer to issue check after review and auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor. Commissioners, while they were doing the repairs at the courthouse last week, over the weekend, there was a tool that was required, and that's the purpose of the reimbursement.
So move.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item H, again, for facilities management, requesting approval of Pitney Bowes application for Send Suite payments account for our mail machine at courthouse with authority for the executive officer to sign.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Last action item under executive officer would be the approval of right-of-way permit. This would be an open cut. It is the city of Elsa, in Elsa Precinct 1.
Is this okay, TJ?
Sorry?
This open cut, hold on one second. Mayor, this particular item, 10I, was not the one of concern, was it? No. Okay, then motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Mr. Silguero?
Director.
Mr. Human Resources Director, sir.
January 1, still executive office.
Director-elect.
But still the intern. Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Thank you for the appointment in January. I have been working in that department, helping Mr. Guerra with various departments over the last few years, 3 years or so. And I do plan to bring to court, my goal is to bring policies and procedures that will make Hidalgo County a premier employer in the Valley in terms of fairness and equity for employees. So that will be my goal. For today, item 11, Human Resources. Judge Commissioners, the items that I'm presenting are changes to the 2017 budget that will be included in 2018. These are things that have not yet been approved by court. They're mostly reorganizations, realignments, kind of end of the year changes for next year. Mr. Cruz will be presenting to court those items that the court has already approved since the budget was adopted, but are not included in the 2018 budget. So he has to present them so that they can be included in 2018. With that in mind, 11A, requesting a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments, if applicable, for personnel items listed. I need approval on that first.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
On item B, for the appointment of the Constable and Justice of the Peace for Precinct 5 that was approved earlier, we need to create positions in the salary schedule. So we're asking approval of the following personnel actions effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. It's to create Constable Precinct 1, Department 295001, slot 001, and set the salary at the 82.4, which is the same as the other constables, and a hour allowance of $14,000. For JP, we create slot Department 069, slot 001, Justice of the Peace. Salary is $84,400, and hour allowance of $10,000. We request approval.
Just to clarify, I think both were 82.4. I think you said 84.4.
I'm sorry, 82.4, yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Approval of the transfer, which is for the funding.
So
Second.
We will meet with the new constable and the new interim Justice of the Peace so we can decide on the staffing probably in January.
Right.
The staff for those, the deputy constables and the deputies for the court coordinators for the JP.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item C for Health and Human Services. This is simply a title change. We're asking approval to the following personnel action effective next full pay period. It's only a position title change. Slot G005, currently a billing specialist 2. We would propose to change to a TB clerk 2 and a clerk 3, slot 012 to a TB clerk 2.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
For Health and Human Services, we're asking approval to create slot A156. This is simply to create a slot for longevity pay for this employee who has been transferred to a grant slot, and the grant does not pay for longevity. So we're saving the salary money by putting it into a grant, but we need a slot for the longevity pay of $540.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And number 2 is approval of the transfer.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E for the WIC program, approval of the following personnel action. We're asking to delete a clerk 2 position, salary $24,000, slot 125, create slot 026, clerk 1, because the salary is the salary for a clerk 1. So we're just just changing the salary, the position to match the salary, no change in salary for the position.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item F for Precinct 4, maintenance, approval of the following personnel action. We're asking to delete slot 002, budget analyst 3, 51,035, and create 0085, budget manager 1 at 57,850. This is due to change in duties and responsibilities for that position.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2 is approval to waive posting, hiring, and enrollment procedures and assign employee number 2118 to slot number 0085, budget manager 1, effective 1/1/2018.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And item 3 is approval to transfer.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item G, Health and Human Services, approval of the following personnel action effective 1/1/2018. We're asking to delete slot 0050, Executive Assistant 4 at 62, and Public Affairs, approval of the following personnel action. We're creating slot 0081, Executive Assistant 4 at the same salary. It's just a reassignment of a position.
I'm going to abstain on this one.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And I'm sorry, I need to clarify that the department program is incorrect. Instead of 110077, it's 125002. Just for clarification, we'll make that correction. Item 3, approval to waive posting and hiring procedures and assign employee number 185663 to slot number 008, Executive Assistant 4, effective 1/1/2018.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And item 4 is
You're
approval.
abstaining on it.
Item 4 is approval to transfer.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item H, under the county judge, we're simply realigning these positions from one department to another. The actions are to delete slots 0038, County Executive Director, slot 0035, Director of Economic Development, slot number 0012, Administrative Assistant, at the salaries that are listed, and recreate them in the Executive Office as Economic Development Administrator, slot 001, slot 002, Economic Development Analyst, and slot 003, Administrative 4, at the salaries that are listed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
3 is approval to waive posting, hiring, and enrollment procedures and assign employee number 121762 to slot number 001, Economic Development Administrator, employee number 115606 to slot number 002, and employee number 215210 to slot number 003, effective January 1.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 4 is approval to transfer the funds.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item I, under the Office of the District Attorney, approval to create one full-time temporary position for 26 weeks, beginning 1/1/2018, ending 7/1. Slot, there's a correction, the slot number should be 140, not 139. Administrative Assistant 1 at a salary of $13,000 for that time period at $13.23 an hour, and this item is subject to funding.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Under the Elections Department, approval to create 4 full-time temporary positions for 26 weeks, beginning 1/1/2018, ending 6/30. We need, based on the Department of Justice Settlement Agreement, we need to create 4 election surveyor technician 1s at a salary of $25,679. Those would be slots temporary 194, 195, 196, and 197.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2 is approval to transfer the funds. Item K, under planning and engineering.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. Under planning, we have just a title change, a position title change. Slot number 005, current title is County Project Coordinator, and the proposed title is GIS Operator 5 at the same salary, no change in salary.
Operator 4. Operator 4.
Operator 4.
GIS Operator 4, I'm sorry, yes.
Thank you. So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Commissioners, we have temporary positions in several departments that will need to be continued into 2018. So I'm going to address those. Approval to extend temporary positions listed for 26 weeks beginning 1/1/2018 and ending 6/30/2018 for elections. There are slots 184 through 193 election clerks at a salary of $12 an hour as listed.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Under Precinct 4 CRC, we have 4 positions that need to be extended. A correction slot number 007 and temporary 008. Those are half-time positions, not full-time. At the clerk ones, slots T006, temporary 007, 008, and 007 at $12 an hour.
Second.
All in favor,
These are subject to funding too, yes.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
In the Health Department, we have 6 positions to extend also. These are Zika Public Health Technicians at $12 an hour as listed. Temporary position 001, 002, 005, 007, 008, and 009.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And item 4 is approval of transfer.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item M, we have a list of residents that are from the medical school, and we're asking acceptance and approval of the list of medical residents attached, including an internship agreement and waiver of liability forms for participating in the Educational Experience and Program Agreement as per agreement with the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, and the Hidalgo County WIC program.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Urban County?
Morning, Commissioners. P.R. Avila with the Hidalgo County Urban County Program. Item 12A, the Urban County Program requests approval of the Emergency Solutions Grant Program subrecipient agreements with the following nonprofit agencies for program year 30, which is 2017, retroactive effective October 19, 2017 to December 31st, 2018. That is Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley, Women Together Foundation, and the Salvation Army of McAllen, Hidalgo County.
We have a motion.
So moved.
A second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 12B, requesting approval of an order granting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code, Chapter 262, Section .024A7, an item that can be obtained from only one source.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
2, approval of sole source declaration with the authority to enter into a contribution in aid of construction agreement with AEP, Texas Central Company, in the amount of $15,668.55 for the installation of primary poles and streetlights within the city of Granjeno.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. Have several items today. Start off with item 13A, requesting approval to accept the Zika Healthcare Services Program contract number HHS 00005960001 in the amount of $311,162. The contract is effective the date upon which both parties have signed this contract and terminates on June 30th, 2018. That's for action on that.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
This contract's actually a 2-year contract, but since they're starting mid-year, it's only going to go for 6 months, and they'll bring it back in a couple of more months to continue it on for the next year and a half. That's the way we're going to do it with this one. Item 2 on that is requesting approval from County Judge to sign the Zika Healthcare Services Contract Assurances, Non-Construction Program Certification regarding lobbying and fiscal federal funding, accountability, and Transparency Act certification.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Requesting approval of the certification of revenue as approved by county auditor.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Requesting, number 4 is requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $160,324.50 from HRSA Fund and $150,837.50 from Center for Medicaid Fund Services.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, item B, sir, is requesting approval of the payment of a claim for the following with the authority for the county treasurer to issue payment after review and auditing procedures are completed for county auditor. This was for a fee for a conference that due to an unforeseen act, the person could not attend and we have to reimburse the $350.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, I'd like to call up Dr. Linda Nelson. And thank you, Oliver. Item C is pursuant to Chapter 465, the local drug and alcohol education program, Section 465.003, presentation on the Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Drug and Alcohol Abuse Advisory Commission, which consists of myself. And this is in partnership for, we developed the John Austin Peña Clinic. There was a component, and thanks to Mr. Crane that assisted with this, to be able to work carefully and closely with UTRGV. In the future, there's a requirement is that annually there must be a report given on the activity at John Austin Peña in regards to the healthcare services in the community in relation to substance abuse and other primary healthcare services provided. Dr. Linda Nelson, she is the person who is overseeing that operation along with Dr. Aaron Manusoff. No, it's already been passed out.
Oh, okay.
It's already been passed out. Great. So we go from there. Dr. Nelson?
Well, thank you. I was here 2 weeks ago as well to talk about our AHEC grant. Today I'm here to talk about the John Austin Peña Memorial Clinic and the great things that I think we're doing for the community. This is a center for triply diagnosed adolescents that have a medical component, behavioral, and usually an appetitive or an addiction for drugs, alcohol, tobacco, or whatever their addiction is. The primary focus of this program is for substance abuse counseling and treatment, and we are pleased to say that we really continue to be very successful. We continue to be funded by Methodist Healthcare Ministries, which allows us to see those children at no cost. And if you look at the report that we've given, prepared for you, you can see the number of visits and the multitude of disciplines that we have available to see these kids. So really it's a one-stop shop that we've actually, with the help of the county and the facilities, been able to extend to the really troubled adolescents in Hidalgo County. We have yet to reach the many, many more. There are so many out there that one can't get to us because of transportation. So one thing that we have begun to do is to send our staff use our staff not only at the Peña Clinic, but also to take that staff out into the McAllen ISD and also the Edinburgh ISD. So we're currently at the Lamar Options and also have begun at the Edinburgh Alternative Academy. So we hopefully will be able to reach even more kids. I also want to point out a couple of other things. And one, we continue our Region 1 GED classes in this location. We are trying to encourage these kids to improve their educational status. We've also added vocational testing, so all of the kids are getting vocational testing, and we have a couple of other psychiatric tools that we've been able to use. But the results that we have thus far have been very, very positive. We've been able to lift many of those kids out of depression and to begin to address the many, many horrible issues that these kids have faced. So I want to say thank you from the UTRGV School of Medicine and Methodist Healthcare Ministries for allowing us to continue to provide the substance abuse counseling and treatment for the adolescents of Hidalgo County.
We thank you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Dr. Nelson. I'd like to acknowledge the County Commissioner's Court, particular Commissioner Palacios and assistance in getting this facility operational. But really all of this is due back to Senator Hinojosa, and it's due to, at that time, Representative Peña like 9 years ago, I think Commissioner Palacios is right, something like that. It's been a while. And this is something that's been coming to fruition. And this is an example of county working with university providing services. Commissioner, any comments or
Eddie,
input?
I don't think you toot your own horn loud enough, but you've done an impeccable job. The AHEC grant,
Yeah.
Dr. Nelson, I mean, just some of the things that's direly needed, and finding ourselves in these partnerships with the university and the medical school and fully utilizing John Austin Peña Center is just profoundly making an indelible impact in our community. And I want to thank you. I want to thank the university.
Thank you.
And very innovative ways to figure out how we can make a difference. It's really the thanks goes to all of y'all.
Well, thank you very much, sir. And I have to acknowledge our team. We have a very fine team and a very fine staff that works together. But that's examples of working together with the community, providing services, and we're continuing to expand and work with other areas. In fact, today I think at Precinct 2, we have RAM, the Remote Area Medical, helping with eyeglasses and other support. That was another partnership that we developed like 7 years ago through Operation Lone Star. So that's another thing that's going on. And there's other programs we're looking at for this coming year. So there's a lot of services out there. So thank you very much for that item. Just wanted to give that report. Steve, do they take action accepting the report so we can have formally in the record?
I think it would be a good idea.
Sir, if we could take action on item C, sir.
Second.
Go ahead.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Very good. That way we formally put into the record that we accepted the annual report. All right, good. Item D, with your permission, requesting approval of the memorandum of understanding between the County of Hidalgo and Nuestra Clínica del Valle, the purpose to facilitate public health response during public health emergencies. This is an updated MOU we have with Nuestra Clínica in the event of a large-scale public health event. Nuestra Clínica is prepared to assist us in the event of a large-scale event.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, requesting approval to appropriate the Health Administrative Program income budget in the amount of $100,000 for the period of January 1st, 2018 to March 31st, 2018. This is just a housekeeping item that we have to do for this coming year.
Do you mean March or December?
I apologize. January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. I'm sorry, I read it wrong.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item F, requesting approval to submit renewal grant application for immunization FY19 program in the amount of $674,320 with the authority for county judge to sign the documents. The grant contract will be in effect from September 1st, 2018 through August 31st, 2019. Again, this is a competitive bid, and we're always working and chasing the funding, so we request permission to apply.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item G is discussing consideration and approval of amendment number 2 to the memorandum of agreement between Hidalgo County and the University of Texas Health Science Center at Houston to extend the term of agreement to end on December 31st, 2018. This is for an 1115 project we have set up with them, so we're asking for the extension.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, we're moving on to item H, Healthcare Funding District, and again, for public information, this is not a funding district in the traditional sense. This is a district that involves Senate Bill 1623 from 6 years ago or 4 years ago, in which the hospitals themselves provide local provider participation fund to submit funding to be multiplied and reverted back to submit for services. So it does not impact the county taxpayer at all. This is strictly from the hospital. So on item H, one of the things is we're getting ready to get into our next session. So discussion and consideration and approval to draw down funds for demonstration year 6, round 2 of DishRep and DY2 monitoring payments in the amount to be determined by Health and Human Service Commission instructions for the Local Provider Participation Fund, or LPPF, with a settlement date of, and I want to change that date for the record, it's not January 3rd, it'll be January 4th, 2018, up to $27,444,989.48.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is approval of certification of revenue as certified by the county auditor from the LPPF in the amount to be determined by HHSC instructions up to $27,444,989.48.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Eddie, let
Yep.
me ask you, how does this differ from the matter that we're going to be taking up on Thursday or Friday of this week?
It all goes together. What happens is, on these items, sir, we need you all serve as the body for the local participation provider fund for the hospitals on setting the rate.
Need to come back and do it again on Thursday or
On
Friday?
Right. On Thursday of this week, you will be setting, because it must be done before the end of the calendar year, you'll be setting the rate to be used for collection from the collection we done by Mr. Variales at the tax office from the hospitals themselves. That collection will be submitted to the Treasury, and at that point, the Treasury and the Auditor's Office will work on certification, and then that money we get ready to get sent out for payment by January 4th of 2018. So because of the holidays and the time of year, we're expediting all of this to get this thing taken care of, and the hearing on Thursday would be to set the rate so they could be able to collect the money and then get it taken care of before the end of the year.
All right, sir. But those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, approval of the 2017 appropriations of funds for the LPPF and the amount to be determined by HHSC. Instructions up to $27,444,889, correction, $27,444,989.48.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Now, I want to make it real clear. This is all subject to the rate being approved, everything being collected and processed and submitted to be able to go up to this figure. It cannot go over this figure. It might be less than this figure. If things do not get approved in a timely manner, the figure may be less. Ms. Duran and Ms. Fong, is that correct? I want to make sure I said that for disclosure. So I want to make that real clear. So we've got to make sure the hospitals follow through on their procedures to get everything done. So item 2, discussion action including but not limited to healthcare funding district. There isn't anything there. Does you have any questions? Okay, under item I, very important, under indigent healthcare or indigent care, discussion and or action including but not limited to indigent healthcare program and 1115 waiver expenditures. Waiver and or expenditures. I need to read this because there is an action item that needs to be stated on there. We do have an action item that needs to be looked at. There needs to be discussion and action including but not limited to indigent healthcare program 1115 waiver. Discussion, consideration, approval to draw down funds from demonstration year 6 anchor payment in the amount of $484,526.33 as per HHSC instructions from the general fund with a settlement of date of January 4th, 2018. We reviewed this within the body of that. There is a component that's anchor payment. We are part of the county. Every 4 or 5 years we get a component that comes to us back for operations. Within the body of these instructions, it was put in there. It was not brought to our attention till just recently. We've reviewed this with Ms. Duran, with Ms. Fong. We've reviewed it with Mr. Cruz and his team and our team, and I'm bringing this before court for approval.
So moved.
All right. Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Ms. Duran, Ms. Fong, Mr. Cruz. We're good? Okay, good. So we're all trying to get all this going to make sure. The whole thing was trying to kind of get all this settled before without having to come back on January 3rd. So we're trying to coordinate that. Any other questions or comments, Commissioners, Judge?
Judge, Commissioners, and Mr. Olivares, I think you've already said it, but I do want to point out and acknowledge Ms. Arce and Ms. Linda. They
very much helped, sir.
They worked with us in this process, and again, just want to acknowledge Ms. Arce and Ms. Linda for helping
Yes.
us out.
Yeah, this is the first time we got to work with Ms. Duran in her new capacity and Ms. Fong in this role, and it was extremely helpful. I need to acknowledge Darlene Sarmiento and Lulu Acevedo with our team. This has been very trying the last 5 or 6 days. Very trying. So we
Thank
want
you
to
all.
thank everybody.
Thank you very much.
Merry
Thank
Christmas
you.
to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eddie. And the hard question of the day for our new auditor. You know, I go to other commissioners' courts, and they provide us with coffee, and the people that show up with coffee and sweet bread. Is that allowable? All right. Well, thank you.
Pay in accordance with the policy.
Item 16, our IT department.
Judge Commissioners, I'll present for IT this morning. For 16A, WIC. Oh, we skipped 14. Oh, I'm sorry. We have CSA, item 14, Judge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. I'm Guillermo Palacios here with the Community Service Agency. I'm presenting item A, discussing consideration of possible approval to apply for the Fund Year 2 2018 Discretionary Community Service Block Grant Funds in the amount of $14,750.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Also, item B, discussing consideration of possible action for authorization to transfer funds from, I could go down the list from 1 to 1 payroll account to local fund in the amount of $1,530.30.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, retirement account to the local fund in the amount of $257.19.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 3, Texas gas account to the local fund in the amount of $11,889.67.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir.
Item 16, yes, Judge Commissioners, just out of abundance of caution, item 15 was inadvertently omitted with respect to the sequence of numbers, so the next proper number would be 16. So for item 16 of the IT, it's for the WIC, it's authorization approval to change the wireless service plan for the county's membership participation with contract DIR-TSO-3415. This is with Verizon Wireless, and it's for the following. It is 3 cell phones. It's a new service plan, and then there's 2 cell phones for office use, new service plan, as well as a data card service plan. All of it is for office use, WIC office use.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
TJ?
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. TJ Arredondo for the record. First 3 items are for preliminary approval. First item is Troy Subdivision Precinct 1. It's a 4-lot subdivision in a Zone C. Drainage is natural percolation on the large lots and surface runoff onto Anderson roadside ditch. It was approved by the City of Donna. There's water via North Alamo and sewer by septic tanks. Anderson Road is paved. And I'm going to bring it back with the variance request, but for now we're asking a preliminary approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is Julio Subdivision Precinct 3. It's a 2-lot subdivision in a flood zone C and A. The engineer is submitting a conditional letter of map amendment for the flood zone A to be converted to zone X. It was approved by the City of Mission. There's water via Sharyland Water Supply Corporation, sewer by septic tanks, and Shoreblock Road is paved. We're recommending preliminary approval.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is Carmen Avila Phase 1 subdivision in Precinct 4. It's a 98 single-family lot and 10 commercial lot subdivision in a flood zone X. Drainage will be provided by a storm drainage system discharging into an existing drainage district number 1 ditch, approximately 1.5 miles east of the subdivision. It was approved by the City of Edinburgh. There will be water via North Alamo Water Supply, sanitary sewer by the City of Edinburgh. Carmen Avila Road is paved, and there are 4 internal streets to be paved and 1 county road, which is mile 22.5 road. We're recommending preliminary approval.
So move.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is for final approval, Valderas Ranch subdivision, precinct 3. It's a one-lot subdivision in a flood zone X. Drainage is natural percolation on the large lots running off into FM 681 roadside ditch. It was approved by the city of McAllen. There is water via Sharyland Water Supply Corporation, sewer by a septic tank system, and Moorfield Road is paved. We're recommending final approval.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The last two items, RSBR at DG, La Blanca subdivision, and LCJ subdivision, I'm going to bring back. We're asking no action on these today.
Okay.
And I think there was
What
maybe
about number 4?
there was a misprint there, I believe, sir. There's no action on that item.
All right, sir.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Item 18, precinct 1.
We're going to ask that this item be tabled to a later meeting.
I think we'll take no action.
No action then, I'm sorry.
Item 19, our budget office.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Ray Salazar. We're going to skip to 19B with your approval. 19B, presentation by the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council regarding appreciation for our countywide participation in the Road to Recycling Tire Collection Project. Back in June of this year, our county had the privilege to partner with the Development Council in a Road to Recycling Tire Disposal Collection event. Mr. Garza, the LRTVDC's Executive Director, is here to talk about the results of that program and our partnership.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. How are
Morning.
you? I just wanted to spend a few minutes really expressing our gratitude for participating in this project and kind of give you an update. Again, the issue of illegally dumped tires, obviously it's a critical issue all across the region. Unfortunately, it's one of those out of sight, out of mind issues that we don't think about every day, but it has a tremendous impact to our, health hazards, to our waterways, our drainage areas, fire danger. So collectively, we wanted to do something about it. So we leveraged some of our funds, and with participation from all 3 counties in our region, we were able to maximize that, and we created a regional tire collection effort. We did 3 rounds over the summer, and the last one was in October, and we surpassed our goal. We had set a goal for 40,000, and we collected 42,000 tires as part of this collective effort. It sounds like a lot, and we're very proud of that milestone, but really that's just a drop in the bucket in terms of what's really out there. So we know that this is just the first step into really looking at some long-term solutions. I'm actually coordinating a trip right now to Arkansas. It looks like the state of Arkansas has one of the most robust state-supported programs. They are creating tire-derived fuel from some of the illegally dumped tires, and actually gaining economic development benefit because they're able to recruit businesses on selling tire-derived fuel. So hopefully we can get to that one day. I want to thank Ray Salazar and other staff members of Hidalgo County for the logistical, the planning. This was a tough project when it comes to the logistical planning, but truly a regional project. If you just looked at the collection site map, we had over 30 sites, all across the valley doing these on simultaneous days. So really proud of that. So again, we collected 42,450 tires. The cost per tire was about $2.60 per tire. But again, we learned a lot of lessons, and we hope that this is just step one. But I wanted to present this small token of our appreciation, in appreciation of the commitment and contribution to the Road to Recycling Regional Tire Collection Project, presented this day in December. Thank you very much for your support, commitment, and hopefully, we'll provide updates as we move forward to this project.
Thank you. Ron, we'd like to thank you for coordinating and collaborating with all the, in the COG, with all 3 counties participating in that. And the timing of it was perfect because it was right before the hurricane season.
Sure.
And obviously could have helped alleviate a lot of the flooding. A lot of those tires end up in drain ditches and cause all kinds of flooding problems. So for us to be able to tackle this initiative together and collectively between all 3 counties makes a tremendous difference. It allowed and enabled people to clean up their areas. It allowed us to go out there and assess where flooding concerns are prevalent.
Yeah.
So for you to provide a solution for us is something I know that we won't take for granted, and we ask that you continue this, continue to search for ways to fund this type of a program every year, because I know that we would take advantage of it And Ray, thank you for your efforts on behalf of the county and coordinating those efforts as well. It was a great project. Happy to be a part of it. And as far as the COG is concerned, we're very appreciative of all the members that approved this.
Appreciate it, Commissioner. Thank you very much.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, we'd like to take a photo. And I'd like to take at this time a little bit to thank our planning and budget team because they also played a big part in preserving these partnerships and extending the taxpayer dollars. Thank you.
You can hold it. I'll stand.
Everybody tries to cut me off, Ray.
One, two, three. One, two, three. One more. One, two. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Keep up the good work. Thanks a lot. Good to see you. Thank you.
Morning, Judge, Commissioner Sergio Cruz.
Morning, sir.
Department of Budget Management. Item 19A is approval of the 2018 jail and law enforcement pay scale. Judge, Commissioners, this is basically the same pay scale that we had for 2017 with just one change. We are making a change on the detention captain. We're basically following up with an action item that we had taken earlier in the year, which is trying to achieve some parity between the detention captains and the law enforcement captains. The increase we have two detention captains, which would see an increase of roughly about $6,765, and we're recommending approval of the pay scale.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 19C is approval. C1 is approval to designate the amount of $1,090,595.15, which is the correction from what's printed on the agenda. And this is for fiscal year 2017 for expenditures related to the 1115 waiver program.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 19C2 is approval to designate the amount of $2,789,645.66 in the year 2017 for expenditures related to the new courthouse.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 19C3 is approval to designate the amount of $176,397.33 in the year 2017 for expenditures related to the Precinct 3 insurance proceeds received for the Ansel Lewis Park.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Sergio, I have a quick
yes.
question. Related to the courthouse, were we going to have the financial advisor down here soon?
I have not talked with Estrada Hinojosa recently, but if the court would like to meet with them, we could certainly have them schedule a visit and have them down.
Okay.
To go over the financing.
I guess just ask him when he's in the valley to come by.
I will.
Even if it's an informal meeting.
Okay. I was just going to ask if you wanted some type of workshop session or if just individual meetings or.
Well, for me, it's related to Edinburgh's commitment to the courthouse, and seeing what kind of document or what kind of process we're going to undertake to get some kind of commitment now rather than later. So you may tell him that that's the purpose of it, and see.
And I'll see what he recommends as far as whether we have a workshop or an agenda item or just individual sessions.
Thank you.
Item 19D, I would like to take item 19D 1 through 8 together. This is discussion, consideration, and approval of personnel actions approved after September 26, 2017, which is the 2018 budget adoption date, as listed on the agenda to be effective 1/1/2018. All of these items, 1 through 8, have been previously approved. The date of the court approval and the agenda item number is listed on the agenda. So if I could have approval of items 1 through 8. Oh, sure. I was just going to take, that was just going to be subject to funding on item 4. But except item 4.
You want me to pull it out?
1, 2, 3.
I'll approve all of them except for 4, we'll put 4 out and approve the rest.
On item 4 is,
We need a motion second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Now on 4.
item 4 is approval of the, for the elections contract, is approval of the following personnel actions as previously approved on 10/17 and 10/24 and 10/31. These are for 2 election server positions. The state had indicated that we could use special purpose funds for these 2. However, they did not. They had approved it subject to use because we had already had our budget adopted. However, we're going to seek clarification because this was after we had also approved our 2018 budget. So we're just going to seek clarification whether it was only for calendar year 17 or whether it included calendar year 18 as well. So if we can have 4 approved subject to that clarification from the state.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 19D, 9 is approval of the interdepartmental transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
19D10 will be taking no action. That's the appropriation of the special purpose funds for the elections department. Item 19E is requesting approval of budget amendments for the BCAP projects to match expenditures to the revenues. If I can have approval of that.
So moved.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Likewise.
Thank you, City. Item 20, purchasing.
By the way, the judge, there is a Santa, because I was reading our manual for policies and procedures, and it looks like you could have your wish.
It includes what?
The coffee and whatever you were talking about. Looks like it's permitted. I was reading it right now.
I never
on that
doubted
note,
that there was a Santa.
All these years I've been here.
All these years.
It'll be a great last
It
year,
appears
Judge.
to be allowed. Okay. Okay. Going on to 20A1, requesting approval to reject sole statement of qualifications received for project titled Construction Manager at Risk for the new Hidalgo County Courthouse. And I believe you've been offered a reason from your project manager, unless you want them to come up and give you their recommendation to proceed with this. We concur, only because for the reasons they mentioned. We received only one.
Might as well have him
statement of
come up
qualification.
just in case there's
He's right
questions
here.
along. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
So I'm comfortable with rejecting A, but somewhere along the line we're going to discuss some of the recommendations that you're making.
Yes. That goes
Okay.
on with item B.
So I make a motion to approve A.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Now, Commissioner, to address further your question, it does not preclude this vendor from participating on the next suggested way to approach this. Item A1B, this is recommendation by Jacobs, project manager, to approve the revision of the RFQ with P to include but not limited the following changes so as to encourage more participation. 1 would be to change the construction manager at risk construction delivery method, still pursuant to the Government Code 2269-251, from the current 2-step to a 1-step process for the project titled Design and Construction of a New Hidalgo County Courthouse. So you would receive both qualifications and the proposal at the same time, as opposed to doing the 2-step method. Yes.
I have a question. Are they able to give us a pricing based on what we will know with respect to the RFQ?
Yes. The way we'll establish the price, we would have requested the pricing in the second step of the RFP in the original 2-step, so it's just combining what we would have asked for in that second step in the first step. And we'll ask for a pre-construction fee, we'll ask for a construction services fee, and then also construction phase, what we term general conditions, which is their staffing cost for those, and those will be broken down and detailed.
And you think that requirement will increase participation?
The primary reason to go in for a 1-step, 2-step is to compress the process, and so Originally, it was going to be, well, we're going to be qualifications solely, do an interview step, possible interview step, shortlist, and then go back out for an extended RFP phase, and then come back and possibly do another set of interviews. So in this case, we're removing one approval step, so it makes it more efficient. And we've spoken with several of the potential bidders, and they would prefer that in this case.
I think they're also, Commissioner, to expand on that, they're being given a full picture of what the county is expecting, and I think it helps them decide what our workload is. Can we commit to this as opposed to the other methods? I think that's another advantage to the county.
So I'm with you, but which item are we trying to approve? Because
B1.
B1, okay. So I make a motion to approve B1.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Now, on the second one, this is to revise the Exhibit C insurance requirements. Right now, we were requiring $25 million, and that is being changed to $20 million. As you recall, our consultant, Mr. Comiskey, was also very comfortable at one point with 10, so we are reducing it. That further, we believe, encourages participation. And yet, we are still being quite protected.
Is 20 the recommendation?
The recommendation is 20, from 25 to 20.
You're comfortable with 20? Yes. So make a motion to approve B2 at 20 million?
Right.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is to extend the submittal date from 2.5 weeks to 5 to 6 weeks so as to allow ample time for responses from qualified and interested vendors.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
4, county to declare the intent to pay within 30 days or less. And of course, we are bound by the Prompt Payment Act, as we know. But I think we've had, Aaron was a participant in a meeting we had with auditors just concerning their payment schedule. But I think it was very open that the auditor's office is also on board to make this as seamless and as efficient as we can, because we understand this is not the run-of-the-mill projects that we do, and so I think they are very committed to helping us achieve that.
And we thank y'all for that, because that's going to help a lot, because I could see contractors not wanting to participate because of having to wait several months for payment, so we really appreciate that. I think that'll make this a less expensive process.
I think they also made us understand and made Aaron and his team exactly the specificity that we need in that final form of agreement that we're going to have, which is going to help bridge any delays and make this a little more efficient for us.
So I make a motion to approve 4.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We believe that we're recommending highly that we do do a pre-bid conference, which we didn't have the first time. We probably may have had it. We've had this 2-step, but this will also answer a lot of these reservations or clarifications that these potential participants may want to get off their chest, so to speak. So we do recommend that we include that.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 6 is in the interest to expedite project's progress, requesting authority and approval for the following designees: Valdeguerra, Executive Officer; Michael Leo, Economic Development Director; and Sergio Cruz, Budget Officers, to remain in that order, in that capacity.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Now, item 7 is something that has been discussed before when we had the 2-step. This is now being just brought to you again to complete this packet, this new packet we're going to be releasing. This is discussion and possible action on option to remove the court members as the evaluation committee and select new members for the evaluation committee. It's totally up to you. We just wanted to make sure that we were still on the same, that we still had all the same requirements. Or if you wish to.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm okay with doing a designee, but I think that this is a question that maybe all of us need to be here for. I mean, I don't want to speak for Mr. Palacios or Commissioner Palacios and Commissioner Flores.
Understand.
Whether they want to participate in that process or not.
Okay.
But can we move forward with the
I
rest
think
of
we
it?
need to decide, yes, because we're going to put this thing together and get it out.
Talk
we're
to
not-
us about the why this is even coming up, if you will.
Sure. I think just in terms of making things, what we're trying to do is make things as typical as possible so that they're used to this similar process. And in most other cases, potential bidders are not used to the governing body. I wouldn't say all, but a lot, certainly the majority, they're used to the commissioner's court or the governing body themselves not being the selection committee. So there being a separate selection committee that works.
Give me your last $100 million project at a county, and if it was at the commissioner's court, or was it a designee provided by each precinct, or how was that done?
Well, for example, I did it was a county hospital, operated through county hospital district, but all those approval
What county?
authorities. It was Bexar County.
Okay.
It was a $800 million hospital. There was a selection committee of staff members. Jacobs participated as an advisor to that committee. There were no board members. There were no commissioners on that. A recommendation was made by that staff-based committee to the board members and then ultimately to the county.
My concern, Aaron, is that, whoever we pick is going to be, each one of us will get to pick one member of the committee. And that member of that committee is going to be calling us, and what do you think type of deal. And by the time they come into court and say, I vote for X, we're not going to get the true reason as to why they're voting for X. Whereas if it's a member of, a member of the court, we're going to be able to ask questions and hear from them.
Judge, just to be clear, a designated committee member should not be calling their
Marty,
their
por favor, I've been
supervisor.
here
Well,
12 years.
that is the process. And as you said, Jacobs would be a consultant to the committee to make sure that they're focusing on those requirements and criteria and point system that is related to that. I just wanted to make that clear, that is an instruction, and I think you agree that that's usually the.
I would offer one thing, and ultimately I'm not sure that it's the make or break thing. I think some of the other things that we've talked about are already going to help encourage additional participation. But when you have a staff-based committee that's not a public body, isn't subject to the Public Meetings Act, they can have a lot more in-depth, on the fly also conversations. There's a lot more study about each individual company and their firm and their weaknesses. Sometimes things that are not necessarily appropriate for a public setting, talking about some of the weaknesses or individual personnel that they meet, and those help shape the opinions. And so for a lot of people, it may appear as though that process can generate a better best value recommendation versus one that's held in open court. However, ultimately, it's not something that that cannot be done. It can be done either way. Obviously, the last two procurements were done that way, and so it's simply we're putting it forward because we did hear that was something that was suggested by several potential bidders. That may make a difference.
Have you ever done it where the commissioner's court is a selection committee, but you guys were able to, Jacobs, were able to vet the companies beforehand, and so that maybe you could ask some of those questions to pull out more information, vet it more thoroughly without having, I guess, their concerns with having it in open court?
Yeah, certainly, and I think we would probably do that anyway, or not probably, we would do that anyway. We would vet them, and we would do the reference checks, and we work with purchasing to make sure they're bonded and all of that stuff. And when we came here, just like last time, that we kind of came in at the tail end, for the architect, we would we could make a recommendation, or we could show our listing of how we would rank them, and whether the commissioners choose to take that or not, or make a different assessment. I think that could be available as an assessment tool.
Okay. Well, then I would say let's leave it the way it is. And that we would be the
committee?
The committee.
The evaluation committee.
Are we
Okay.
going to no action with that?
No, you would, the option is you. So you're taking action.
Make a
that will
motion
be
to keep us.
Commissioners Court.
Keep us as a committee.
Right.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is approval to publish advertisement and release packets after all aspects of the one-step RFQP have been approved as deformed by legal counsels. That would be Porter Hedges and Josephine Ramirez, the chief of the civil section of DA's office.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Item 2 is requesting amending the current approved, adopted Hidalgo County purchasing policies and procedures with the amendments that have to date to include acceptance and adoption and the inclusion of EDGAR, also known as Code of Federal Regulations, which is what would be effective for us. EDGAR is something that applies to school districts or universities. Effective 1/1/18, drafted by Hidalgo County DA's Office Civil Division in collaboration with the Purchasing Department for statutory guidance in the acquisition of goods and/or services using federal funds.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is requesting exemption under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A6, the lease of land.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is approval of the lease between Hidalgo County and R&L Guerra LLC for the housing of county departments for an initial 3-year term with 2 one-year options at the county's option to renew and extend. This has the fiscal concern, and I believe Mr. Guerra is going to address that.
Right.
This will be subject to the funding in place.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 4A is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements 262-024A7, a proprietary software.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B, requesting approval of agreement on online research services for LexisNexis for the law library.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 5 is requesting authority to advertise and approval of qualifications, requirements, and scope of services as attached here too for the upcoming pool of professional services for the following A through F, with the concern that F, surveying services, had not been attached. It has been. It has already been sent to Ms. Monica, to the county clerk's office, and to Ms. Linda. So I recommend approval.
Motion to approve item 25A through F.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And just to further clarify, this is an effective date of March 16, 2018, or 1 year thereafter. Item 6, acceptance and approval of rebate check from the Local Government Purchasing Program, also known as BUY Board, in the amount of $142,221.63 for the cooperative fiscal year of 2016 and 17. This is the rebate that we get when we do purchase from this particular co-op.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
By the way, I'm asking for Santa Claus too, that this all be appropriated to the purchasing department. But I'm asking. Item B1, precinct 1, requesting acceptance and approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement between Dow County and Dow County Emergency Service District Number 2 for the purchased a 4-chute gravity fed bagging machine for the purpose of filling the sandbags. The district desires to locate the machine on the premises of Precinct 1. I think there's a concern that the mayor was going to address. Mayor Suarez?
We didn't buy it. We were actually just locating the
Right.
bag machine.
We're doing fine?
No, we're not buying it. We're just locating the machine on our
Correct.
property.
Oh, it's not a purchase.
It's not a purchase.
Okay. So that's the only clarification? Okay, so we're okay.
Second.
All right.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
4C, Precinct 2, 1A, requesting authority to advertise in accordance with 2269-251, a one-step, that's a correction, step process for the construction of Las Milpas Park. The design's already in place. and that is the youth facility, including the authority to re-advertise in the event we needed to do so. That's A.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B, approval of the CMAR procurement packet for the, as I said before, the construction of Las Milpas Park CRC youth facility, reviewed as to form by the DA Civil Section.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The C is discussion, consideration, and action to establish the number and appoint the members of the evaluation committee pursuant to 2269-253.
So the number will be 3,
All
and
right.
the members will be Erica Zamora, Armando Garza Jr., and Jorge Hinojosa.
Second.
Got it. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second, Judge.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C2, this is also for Precinct 2, for approval of work authorization 1 with an estimated cost of $6,274 as approved by Terracon, contract number 228, to provide construction materials testing for the Precinct 2 Industrial Boulevard Road project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is requesting approval of work authorization 1 with an estimated cost of $20,540 as submitted by Project Civil Engineer Quintanilla Headley and Associates Incorporated to provide preliminary civil engineering services required for Las Milpas Park Youth Facility project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
D is for Precinct 3. D1, approval of change order number 2 in connection with La Jolla Watershed Improvements South Detention Basin Project, reflecting a decrease in the amount of $680 and increase of 20 working days from the contracted vendor LNG Construction Company, and is recommended by the project engineer LNG Engineers, subject to compliance with any statutory requirements.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, requesting approval of work authorization 5 with an estimated cost of $441,400 as submitted by LNG Engineers through contract number 305 for the right-of-way map, right-of-way acquisition, compensation, utility management oversight for Mile 3 project from Tom Gill to FM 2221.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3, acceptance and approval to execute the final form of agreement, contract 329, with Javier Hinojosa Engineering for the provision of on-call professional engineering services on an as-needed basis for those projects located within the precinct.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E1 for Precinct 4A, requesting authority to advertise and approval of CMAR procurement packet drafted by project engineer B2Z in accordance with Texas Government Code Chapter 2269, Subchapter F, Construction Manager at Risk, two-step process. And this is for the construction of Memorial Park Phase 1.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
As per the request of the precinct, item B, no action until 1/9/18. Item 2, recommendation by project engineer LNG, action by Del County Commissioners Court to award the project to the responsible vendor, Texas Cordia Construction, in the amount of $9,142,335.55 to the lowest and best bid while meeting all specifications, and this is for the 10th Street extension.
And that's subject to legal review.
Correct.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Constables F1 requesting authorization for purchase and installation of lighting equipment and accessories from Fleet Safety Equipment through the Gallegos County's membership with the buy-board contract 527-14 in the amount of $8,320.09.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
G, adult probation, acceptance and approval of final payments for 2 ongoing renovations projects at the Delaware County Substance Abuse Treatment Facility, restroom renovations and facility door projects as awarded to the Jock Vendor Alpha Building Corporation as follows. A, facility doors, final payment $24,053.56. Bathroom renovations is B, final payment of $33,699.33. And C, boiler final payoff including in totaling $16,274.43.
Move to approve G1, A through C.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Commissioners, Mr. Guerra, Mr. Crane, the Purchasing Department wishes you a very merry and blessed Christmas and holidays.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Did anyone sign up for open forum?
Yes, sir, we do have open forum. We have one participant, Ms. Fern McClarity. I will remind the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There's 3 minutes. I will advise when there's 1 minute. Ms. McClarity.
Well, the first thing I was going to ask, y'all quickly went over it on 28-3, the leasing of a building in McAllen for $3,875 a month for the 60 months would be $232,500. My question is, do we not own property somewhere in the county and take that kind of money and fix it up, remodel it, tear it down, and build a new building for that kind of money? Because renting and leasing is just throwing it out in the toilet. Also, on 11H, you just now had Mr. Leo to get up, and he was I believe, had been changed to the Economic Development Administrator, is what it said on that item. And my question is, when someone leaves the county, and you go to work for the city or you go to work for someone in Washington, does your job automatically sit there and waits for everyone that works for the county? Or do they have to take the idea that if I leave, I might not have this position? Obviously, they get to come back, they get the position, and get paid the same. So my question is, what's the policy on the county on that? Can anyone that works for the county, or is it just special people? And also, like I said, I would upset about the elected officials because you create policies for others to follow, and then you do not follow them. They do not apply to you. You will hire someone, so you suspend the rules and just hire them or let them come back just because you can. I do not know why I should be surprised that this commission allows you to create a department and then hire your relatives, friends, or loved ones. But it's okay because you didn't vote for it for that particular item. This commission has created another precinct, but it is not to improve safety or even lower the crime rate, but rather to gather votes. When you finish this creation, it will be one of the expensive, and will it be the least effective precinct as it has in the past? It brought in the least amount and did the least work. If you think everyone thinks this is good, you're mistaken. It is just like the time the commission voted to oppose the border wall, and then you voted to accept federal money to increase the height of the levees. Everyone in this audience understood exactly what happened. So we would like to know some of these questions, and we're hoping that the election that's coming up, that you keep telling people that you're good stewards of public funds. I certainly hope that they either check to see if you really are or see if you're telling a whopper. But would you please check on these items as to the position, and can anyone in the county leave and then come back at any time? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Judge Commissioners, we do have executive session.
Pursuant to 551-071 and 072, I need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. 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 Motion carries.
We have, under open session, 24A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, there's no action to be taken. 24B, pending and or potential litigation, there's no action to be taken. 24C, claim of Raquel Talamantes. Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $479.49.
So moved.
Second. Is this mine or what?
I want to be.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And 24D, pending and or potential litigation, notice of claim Donna Turns number 1. The attorney we will proceed as directed. And for the record, the judge did not have any discussion, and out of an abundance of caution, he is abstaining just in general from this item.
And if I need to sign anything,
yes, I'll get Monica here.
There's no action.
So, right.
Okay.
Just the proceed as directed. Judge Commissioners, there's no need for item 25 or 26. Before adjournment, we do have a special court session set for Thursday at 9:30 a.m. And then we have a Friday 11 a.m. Special meeting. And then thereafter, unless there is an emergency that arises that there would be a need of a quorum of the court for some action item, the next Commissioners Court will be January 9th of 2018.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.